Oh my god. Yes, I'm going live right now. And I have to deal with this freaking trash of a freaking, I guess you can say, team that we're going on. I'm going to share the stream out to Twitter just in case any of you guys want to check it out. As I'm going to my Twitter right now. And stuff like that. Oh, yes, my Twitter. Hold on a quick second, guys. I'll talk about the game in a few minutes. But, yeah. So, hold on a second. Almost done with this tweet. Yep. Okay. I'm good. All right. I know I got the stream up a little bit late. I was trying to figure this whole thing out. Yes. Chicago Bears. They lost. Like typical Chicago Bears always do. They lose yet again when, I don't know, I just can't count on them. I've already told you guys. Have you seen my season preview with my Uncle Daryl? I freaking just am sick and tired with this narrative and this BS and everything that I'm being force fed here with this organization, with this team, and how much I'm sick and tired of the ineptitude of this Chicago Bears organization. You've got to be kidding me. That's the performance we're going to get? That's the performance I was waiting so desperately to get till, I don't know, whenever it was time for them to freaking show up? Listen, this game, man, I knew I would be wasting 3 hours of my night. And I sure enough did that. And lo and behold, am I sick and tired of this crap. Like, I'm sick and tired of the crap that they got to keep narratively feeding me. Justin Fields is not the dude. We're going to start Andy Dalton. We'll get to Andy It's My Time Dalton because, my goodness. Most of the things he did in this game, Justin Fields could have just done. So I don't see what the whole problem was. It's not like, we were checking the ball down every single chance we got. Oh, wait, Justin Fields could do that too. I'm done. I'm sick and tired of this team. Again, we play a freaking football team where, yes, they're nice. They're good. But do I think the Rams were that good? No, I would honestly think the Rams, I wouldn't say are overrated. I think maybe the Rams are just not as good as we all predicted because let's be honest. For a time, for a majority of the game, the Bears were, I guess you can say, moving the ball down the field. Like they were making progress. And then, we just had to go for it on fourth down. How many freaking times? 4 times, I believe. And we failed to convert on all 4 downs. It's a freaking joke, man. It's a freaking joke. And I'm getting sick and freaking tired of this. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, God. All right, what can I talk about in this game? What can I talk about in this game that wasn't already talked about in this game? Obviously, you want to get my thoughts on Andy Dalton. How did he do? How was he in his debut for the Chicago Bears in the regular season? I'll get to that in a bit. Let's actually talk about Justin Fields, who was probably the only positive in this entire game to begin with. Because guess what? Justin Fields is always the positive. Anyways. As I was saying, Justin Fields was a definite positive. Other than, I guess you can say, the fact that they used him as a damn gadget guy, I hated. I loved his touchdown run, and I was like, oh, we get to see him get his first NFL touchdown. Could we use it? Could we do it behind his legs and his arm? And I just, wanted to make the mention. David Montgomery is David Montgomery is Chicago Bears MVP of the night. He's the Chicago Bears MVP of the night. He took it to the Rams defense, and the Rams defense couldn't stop him. That it was plain and simple. Now, we did go out for a time. I think something must have happened. I think he dislocated one of his fingers, and they had to go back to the trainers and probably pop it in the locker room and everything. But I love what I saw to David Montgomery. I think he's definitely going to have a big, huge grow out this year. Huge, breakout this year because, hey, he's good. And that's only if Matt Nagy wants to trust the damn run. But knowing Matt Nagy, he doesn't want to do this. Anyways, Justin Fields, just seeing what his legs can do, it was just pretty damn impressive. Really impressive what he could do. And I'm just thinking, him and David Montgomery in the backfield together. I'm not saying that's unstoppable, but damn, am I saying that's pretty damn good of a combination between quarterback and running back. You can run the read option like crazy out of this because you got a running back who's hard to take down, and you got a dual threat quarterback right then and there who could use his feet, but as well as he could use his arm as well. Sadly, he only threw one pass in this game, so at least for a percentage-wise, he was 1 for 1, or technically 2 for 2 because he completed that stupid shovel pass that didn't go anywhere, and it ended up hurting Larry Borum. Oh, my goodness. But, yeah, Justin Fields looked good for what we saw of him. I would like to see more, please and thank you. And when I mean more, him using his arm, not his freaking feet only, Matt Nagy. It's like only Matt Nagy's like, yeah, you're only going to use your feet. You're not going to use your arm. Because Matt Nagy saw Justin Fields throw the ball one time, and he's like, oh, I can't let that happen. I can't let him throw the ball anymore. I got to have him just keeping still, and I can only have him, passing the ball or running the ball. Can't do that. Andy Dalton's my passing quarterback. He can't read the defense, and honestly, I think the freaking Rams defense, if Justin Fields was playing, we might have ended, well, actually, I don't know if we would have won the game with the way the defense was fucking playing. I'll get to the defense, because the defense absolutely disappointed me, which I probably shouldn't be shocked, because I saw this coming a mile away. I just didn't think the defense would play that bad. But yeah. One more thing about Justin Fields. During the game. Listen, I don't know if the Chicago Bears were paying Chris Collinsworth some extra dough, but Chris Collinsworth, for some dumbass reason, was literally creating narratives and making negative points and everything, making it seem like Justin Fields is not good or he sucks and he's not anything special. I don't know if you picked up on that, but Chris Collinsworth was saying real bad stuff, and it was really turning me off, and it was getting me upset. And I'm like, he's acting like Justin Fields hasn't played a lick of football, like he's just some brand new. Chris Collinsworth must be one of them damn old heads who believe, quarterbacks that are drafted should sit. Well, if he felt like that, why didn't he talk about freaking Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, and other young quarterbacks that started and said, well, guess what? They're not ready. He didn't say anything bad about Zach Wilson or Trevor Lawrence. So why does he have to rip on Justin Fields? I guarantee you, the Hallis Hall, the McCaskies, along with Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace, probably paid him like, hey, listen, don't hype up. Justin Fields like he's anything special. Just say he needs some development still and he needs to work on some things. And guarantee you, we'll give you a hefty paycheck. And Chris Collinsworth's like, oh, yes. I don't know why Chris Collinsworth was so negative, but he had some asinine takes when it came to Justin Fields. I really would like to meet that guy in person and ask him to his face, did you really feel about that? Because if you really do, I'm going to slap you. You can't tell me that you watched this entire game and Andy Dalton did anything to light you up saying, oh, the Bears are going in the right direction. Offensively, the Bears were, anemic. You get out to a great start to start the game. David Montgomery, first carry, takes it all the way into your own red zone. Lo and behold, you bring in Justin Fields. He does the pass. Third down or something like that. And you get a false start because you switch quarterbacks. That brings you back. And then the next play, Andy Dalton drops back and he gets a tipped intercepted pass, which I'm like, friggin' that could have happened to Justin Fields. And everything went bad from worse. We'll get to the defense side of the ball later. Well, actually, I'll get into that. And then the defense, as I get a notification to my phone. So you essentially turn the ball over. And lo and behold, guess what? Defense comes out firing on all cylinders, right? Wrong. Because guess what? They give up a dang near, I don't know how many yard touchdown it was, a huge touchdown to a Ram receiver who I don't know anything about. And, Eddie Jackson and Tashawn Gibson just didn't want to tackle. They didn't want to touch the guy when he was on the ground, and they just let her run off for a touchdown in one play. Are you serious? Oh, my God. I saw that, and I was like, well, the ineptitude is back, and it's old Chicago Bears, good old shit, right? Right? You have a bad offensive, you have a great start to an offense, and one freaking penalty turns everything wrong. And then guess what? Turn the ball over, your defense is supposed to get the stop, and no, they just give up a freaking huge touchdown, which was a bust of coverage, and it doesn't matter because the secondary got torched, like I said in my freaking season preview. Our secondary absolutely sucks, and they're going to regret cutting Kyle Fuller. Because guess what? We couldn't cut Jimmy Graham, or we just had to sign Andy Dalton to a 10-year freaking contract. Or not a 10-year contract, that would be crazy. A $10 million contract with $3 million incentives, which had to essentially cut Kyle Fuller because you couldn't afford him over the cap. Because guess what? It's not like Ryan Pace has been bad with the cap. Oh, wait, he has been. So that happens. And your offense is literally not stalling. Hell, the next freaking offensive drive, Andy Dalton almost throws another damn pick. And I'm like, at this point in the game, I was watching this. It was like, we're going to get blown out, which we did get blown out. And at this point in the game, I was like, I don't care. I don't care. You see, fair weather, the Bear fans can say, oh, Andy Dalton had a, decent game. Really? Really? I'll give you credit. Okay, yeah, he had a decent game, but was it enough? No. Did it take you over the top? No. Because guess what? Just Andy Dalton having a fairly decent game gets you 14 points on the scoreboard. You want to stick with decent Andy Dalton, or do you want to actually go to a guy that can actually make the offense boom? This team fails to understand we're living in the 21st century, and they got a 21st century type of quarterback sitting on the bench. Oh, please. You can't lead me to believe Andy Dalton did anything. And let's get into Andy Dalton. Let me pull up Andy Dalton's stats anyways. Andy Dalton. Oh, God. I hate this guy. I hate this dude with a burning passion. Okay. Box score. Andy Dalton. He was 27 of 38 for 206 yards and 1 interception. At a QBR of 35.0. He did nothing for this game. He did nothing. If he impacted this game anyway, he would have done anything. Essentially, all Andy Dalton did was dink and dunk, just throw hitch routes and stuff like that. That's it. He just threw hitches and dinks and dunks. Just checking it down to the running backs. That's all he did. We never threatened the freaking middle of the field. We never freaking decided to go deep. Again, I asked, what the hell is this offensive scheme around? This offensive scheme. This is no offensive scheme. I call it like how it is. It's the Denny's menu for Matt Nagy. Just a joke of a freaking offense. Which, come to think of it, Matt Nagy was absolutely atrocious at some parts in this game when it came to play calling. Because guess what? This guy doesn't know what to do. Yeah, questionable play calling when you're going for it on damn near every fourth down. It takes him to two failed fourth down conversions to realize I should probably stop. And then he does it again. That fails. Then he does it again instead of kicking the field goal. And at that point in time, making it, I don't know, I think at the time it was like 17-24 or something like that. Or 17 to something. I forgot what the score was. But, he could have made it a 2-score game. And it's like, no, we're not going to do that. And then guess what? Obviously, the defense does what the defense did, and it freaking just gave up and stuff like that. So the offensive play calling was utter crap. And just seeing this, man, it really pisses me off about Matt Nagy. You're not going to boldface tell me that Andy Dalton is legit that dude. Like, seriously, you're lying to yourselves. And freaking Matt Nagy is a freaking pile, of smoke, ash, and whatever he has in whatever he's talking about, man. That was just stupid. It was asinine. I don't believe it. You cannot be joking me. That was a joke of a performance. He gets his Sean McVay is running circles around him in the play calling department yet again. Terrible. Listen, skill player wise, like I said, I like Montgomery. Damian Williams did look good. I will say that he did look good in some of the spurts we saw him. The other receivers, they look fine for what it's worth. You can clearly see that. Well, the receivers look like they're ready, and even Cole Kmet, he looked like he was great too. I like Cole Kmet. What Cole Kmet gave us was good. But guess what? That'd be even better if you start Justin Fields, not Andy Dalton. So, yeah. And then, listen, Matt Nagy, tonight's performance was a fireable performance. He deserves to be fired. But he's probably not because guess what? He's has this whole leash coming out and stuff like that. Like, he can't do no wrong and he can't do anything to change anyone's opinion. And I hope the national media tomorrow rips him apart alongside Chicago Bears media. I'll talk about a little bit about Matt Nagy, about his reflection about the team as it is to the coaching staff, because this game was definitely a reflection of the coaching staff. That's what it is. Now, let's talk to that so-called Super Bowl caliber defense. That Super Bowl caliber defense was anemic. It was horrible. It was terrible. It was garbage. It was atrocious. Anything you can say about this defense tonight was awful. And some of the national media members are going to give the defense the benefit of the doubt and listen, I'm not going to give them the benefit of the doubt. The last couple of years, I've had the defensive backs and I've bailed them out. But now I'm not bailing them out no more. I'm done. I'm literally done with this team. I'm done with this team till they want to find a direction to go into. And that starts at the helm with freaking starting Justin Fields and then redoing that entire defense, a.k.a. except for Roquan Smith and Jalen Johnson. Everybody else on that defense can fucking go. I'm done. I'm done with Khalil Mack. I'm done with Robert Quinn. I'm done with Hakeem Hicks. I'm done with Eddie Jackson. I'm done with Tashawn Gibson. I'm done with anybody else that made this so-called defense great. What the hell performance was that? You make things interesting, and for the first half, you keep your offense in the game. Okay, great. That's wonderful. Halftime comes, and you're like, okay, it's 13-7. Rams get the ball, defense got to make a statement and get a stop, and then maybe the offense can hopefully do something and take the lead. We should have had the lead, going into the third quarter, 14-13, because of the stupid interception. Anyways, this defense comes out of the halftime, after the halftime show. And they presumably get the Rams to a 3rd and 10. Rams convert. No pressure, not getting to Matthew Stafford to sack him, not doing anything to get any pressure on him. Nothing. I think the Bears only had 1 sack on him. That was Akeem Hicks. So clearly the front 7 is playing just like it did last year, failing to do their job with the money they're getting paid. Khalil Mack. I like Khalil Mack. I'm wearing his freaking jersey right now. But he's getting paid too much money to do what? Not get to the quarterback? He's been a shell of himself since the 2018 year. I'm just going to say it. He was okay 2019. 2018, he was amazing. Okay, 2019. 2020 fell off the map. And here so far, it's not good. He's fallen off the map. He hasn't done anything since he hasn't really done anything since 2018. He hasn't been that dominant pass rusher since 2018. And you go to question, what the heck is going on with the front 7? How are they calling the stunts? How are they finding ways to get Khalil Mack, open to where, guess what? They can get him to the pass rusher. Or maybe Khalil Mack's not trying hard enough to get to the quarterback. Robert Quinn. Good God. We're trying to think that Robert Quinn's going to have some sort of bounce back year. He was an utterly no-show as well. My God. Can we trade this clown along with Nick fucking Foles too? Can we find somebody that wants Robert fucking Quinn? And if I see him traded somewhere and he's getting sacks and everything, I'm about to be like, what the hell were you doing over here? It seems like players for the Bears, when they get paid big time money, they don't want to play football anymore. Which leads me to Eddie Jackson. Oh, Eddie. I can't tackle Eddie Jackson. And if the fans are going to get on me for not tackling, well, guess what? I'm going to tell them they don't know shit that they're talking about. Oh, please. I play DB and I can tackle better than Eddie Jackson ever could. This fool Eddie Jackson, man. We're talking about freaking Khalil Mack falling off a cliff because he hasn't really done anything in the past 2 years. We're talking about the no-show of freaking Robert Quinn, and that's atrocious because we're paying him big-time money, and it's a waste of it, too. Talk about a waste of big-time money in Eddie Jackson. We're thinking, Eddie Jackson's going to be something special again. Sean Desai is going to make him, go back to the Eddie Jackson in 2018. Just like Sean Desai, well, guess what? So much for Sean Desai, right? His defense was phenomenal. His defense got carved up like hot knife through butter. And speaking of Eddie Jackson, he looks like he has fallen off the cliff. At one point, I called Eddie Jackson one of the best, if not the best safety in the NFL. And this clown has not done a damn thing since 2018. Ever since he picked off Aaron Rodgers in the clinching game where it helped us win the NFC North title in 2018, he has not done anything. He has tackled horribly. He doesn't cover. It's pathetic. And going back to the defense starting in the third quarter, they give up a deep pass. They give up a, third and long for a first down. And then the next play, they're playing what I presume is a cover 2 or a cover 2 man type of, coverage. In other words, corners are locked up with their individual receivers, or it was some sort of cover 2 zone man something. But essentially what happened was, well, guess what? Jalen Johnson was matched up with Cooper Kupp. It was a zone. It was some sort of cover 2 zone where I guess Jalen Johnson follows the receiver in motion. Well, it's cover 2. Corners are supposed to stay in the flats. So obviously, Jalen Johnson passes it up to what seems to be the safeties. Now, I don't know if somebody got it all wrong. I don't know if it was a cover 2 zone or a cover 2 man. If it was a cover 2 zone, then Jalen Johnson did the right thing, and he's supposed to pass it off to the safeties. And the safeties are supposed to cover anything deep. That's cover 2 zone, because you have 2 safeties in the backfield covering the deepest part of the field. If it was cover 2 man, that was on Jalen Johnson, he should have stayed with Cooper Kupp. Somewhere in that, there was a bust in coverage, and for some reason, the safeties were dumb just to say, oh, let's have Cooper Kupp run right up the middle between our zone defense, and guess what? Just walk right into the end zone. It reminded me of the one time we let just freaking Randall Cobb freaking just run right past him, and he ends up winning the game for the Packers in that one clinching time. All those seasons goes, I still remember that. I still do remember that. It was something similar to like that. But literally ran right past him. And I'm looking at Eddie Jackson and Tashawn Gibson. I'm like, your job is to cover receivers, not stand there and look at the quarterback and look stupid. So, busting coverage. There was like 2 times there was 2 big plays where there was a humongous bust in coverage. Eddie Jackson's terrible, man. I'm done. I'm done with Eddie Jackson. I'm sick and tired of Eddie Jackson. I don't want to hear anything. If Eddie Jackson wants to talk shit on Bear fans and complain to Bear fans saying, you guys need to freaking understand what we're going through and you guys don't know what we do. Oh, really? I played football. I know how to play football. I coach football right now. And I'll tell you one thing. If I was his freaking position coach, I would freaking chew him out. Just like Jeff Okudah was getting chewed out in the Lions game. I'm done. If Eddie Jackson wants to get out of here, he can kick rocks too. That defense was pathetic tonight. And then in the second half, they just couldn't stop the LA Rams. First half, they could stop him. Then second half, that defense gets no pressure on Matt Stafford, can't cover, and they're just getting carved up like Swiss cheese. I told you, Bear fans, I told you. If the Bears press front seven can't get any pressure, listen, that freaking back end of that defense is getting torched. Getting absolutely torched. They say the back end's supposed to be a no-fly zone. Well, they're just letting people just come in and get a buffet because guess and believe, this was only week 1. Next week, they play the Bengals with obviously, the one receiver for the Bengals, I forgot his name. Jamar Chase. T. Higgins. They're gonna get carved up. And honestly, looking at week 2, I could see the Bears losing week 2 against the Bengals. They took the freaking Vikings to overtime. Now, I think the Vikings are always overrated, like the Vikings always are. But they took the Vikings to overtime. They can the Cincinnati Bengals can easily walk up into Soldier Field next Sunday and beat the Chicago Bears in their building. I would not be shocked if we start the season 0-2 now. Seeing what the defense did? Oh, please. That doesn't leave me with any confidence that they can stop Joe Burrow. Let me just tell you something. This defense ain't stopping nobody. This so-called elite defense is going to probably give up 30 points per game. Yeah, I said it. The way they're doing it, if I'm being generous, they're going to probably give up more than 20 points per game. This defense is not elite because guess what? They get no pressure on the quarterback. They don't cover, and they just are not. They don't pay attention to detail. They let coverage bust happen. And speaking of Sean Desai, we're supposed to be led to believe that he's some sort of Vic Fangio disciple, that he's going to take this defense back to what it once was, or some semblance of it. Well, guess what? I said in my preseason game recaps, I was not impressed with the defense, even though they were backups. Some of them were backups. I was not impressed. That Buffalo Bills game, most of the starters played the game, and I was not impressed with that defense. Well, guess what? That defense didn't show up, and it wasn't good. It absolutely sucked. And Sean Desai, I don't care if it's week 1. He's overrated as the defensive coordinator. Are you joking? That's your best performance? That's your best performance? I'm thinking this guy's going to dial up some crazy types of blitzes and stuff like that. Oh, hell no. We really need a legit freaking defensive coordinator. We do. And again, like I said with the defense, honestly, I don't care. Trade everyone on that defense except Jalen Johnson and Roquan Smith. That's it. Just start making a new defense with them. Honestly, I'm fine with getting rid of Khalil Mack. I'm fine with getting rid of everybody. And if it's for draft picks, guess what? Hey, fine. So it seems like it's going to be that time where, well, guess what? The Bears are going to have to build their defense again. And they're going to have to build their defense with the young, quality talent that can look like steals. Because trust and believe, now I know what I'm going to get. I know what we need now. We need a freaking legit lockdown corner, and we need a freaking pass rush, young pass rushers that want to get to the quarterback. Oh, my goodness. At the end of the day, this game was a reflection on the coaching staff. This was a reflection on the coaching staff. Because guess what? This was a piss-poor job. You're really kidding me? This is what we did all this? And again, like I said, it's a piss-poor job on Matt Nagy for not having, it's a piss-poor job on Matt Nagy not having these guys prepared at all, to play a game. We got a comment from D-God D Chosen. Matt Nagy is Gase before people realize he's Adam Gase. Well, Mr. D Chosen, I would wholeheartedly agree that Matt Nagy is now the new Adam Gase. He's a clown. I think somebody was calling him Caillou from what I heard. Honestly, I've said this before and I'll say it again. Tonight's performance was a fireable offense from Matt Nagy. If I, was watching this game, or if I was in the game and I was a person in management, if I was the GM, I don't care if it's week 1. I'm firing him. I don't care what the McCaskies say. They could fire me too. I'd fire Matt Nagy because guess what? It was a piss-poor, pathetic effort of a game we just saw and I wasted. And I'm not freaking dealing with this ineptitude. But going on, as I was saying, this game was a reflection on the coaching staff. Defense didn't come prepared. At least Caillou would probably kick a field goal on 4th and 15. Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me. I think I brought it up, earlier in the video already. The fact that the Bears had a chance to make it like 17, I think it was 26 or 20-something. And again, they instead of just doing it, they go for it on 4th and 15 instead of kicking the field goal. And at this point in the game, with your defense getting carved up, literally the Bears have to go into shootouts. And guess what? That's even worse now when you look at it. It's worse that you're looking at it now. Guess what this means? Since your defense gets carved up like a hot knife through butter and they can't stop anybody, holy crap. I think anemic Aaron Rodgers, like he didn't give a shit today in his game against the Saints, would have carved these guys up and he wouldn't even have to try. But guess what? If this defense is going to get carved up, I hate to tell you, Bear fans, guess what? The thing about this is if the defense can't get stops, especially timely stops, the Bears are going to have to get into shootouts. Now, with Justin Fields, okay, fine. I think maybe with Justin Fields, you can get into shootouts. With Andy Dalton, there's no chance in hell. Like how Vince McMahon, even though he's screwing up WWE right now, I am a wrestling fan, and I don't like what WWE is doing. But it's like in Vince McMahon's, song, no chance in hell is that happening. We're getting into shootouts with Andy Dalton. The chosen, but as long as Fields make progress and looks good this season, I will be happy. Yes, I will agree with it. If you didn't, I said it earlier in the video that I thought Justin Fields, for the freaking lack of crap we got, from him today, because Matt Nagy just only wanted to show off his legs and didn't want to really show off his arms. I thought, Justin Fields had a nice pass in the red zone before everything unraveled at the start of the game. And then I did like his running touchdown. Good block by J.P. Holtz as well on that block. But I said it earlier in this live stream that I believe that, guess what? I would like to see Justin Fields not use his legs only, like Matt Nagy's trying to use this guy like he's Taysom Hill for the Saints. And guess what? I forgot to mention too. You want to know exactly? You guys want to know the reason as to why Matt Nagy did that? Why he just had Justin Fields come in for these exact moments? Well, here's the reason why. Because earlier today, on Sunday, if you watch 49ers versus Lions, Kyle Shanahan put, Trey Lance into the red zone period early in the game, and Trey Lance ended up getting a touchdown. First drive of the game for the Bears. Justin Fields comes in the red zone. Did it later in the game too. Matt Nagy being fucking cute. He tried to say, oh, Kyle Shanahan did it? Well, I can do it too. Let's freaking, man, my young quarterback be the person doing the red zone stuff. The God, the chosen. I think we're building a nice young core, to be honest. In terms of offensive young players, I will agree. Fields, Montgomery, Kmet, Mooney. I think we're pretty good offensively young. The only core young I don't like is the defense. The only guys, on defense that are a nice building core are Roquan Smith. We need to pay that guy like we need to pay Allen Robinson. And Jalen Johnson looks to be promising. I thought Jalen Johnson was probably the one DB that actually was the best DB on the field for the Bears. But yeah, those are honestly the two best players I saw. But yes, thank you for your comments. But yeah, Matt Nagy saw Kyle Shanahan do that earlier in the game. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna do that too. And yeah. And again, Matt Nagy being cute is pathetic. It's pathetic. Eventually, if he continues to try to do that strategy, teams are going to figure out, oh, you're just bringing in Justin Fields to run read option. We're not going to, because we know you're not going to bring in Justin Fields to throw the ball because you're an idiot. So, yeah. Hold on. Let me hit my charge, put my charger into my laptop as I'm doing this live. That was freaking embarrassing. Terrible. It was terrible. So yeah. But as I was saying, I'm trying to think of anything else. But essentially, this game was a reflection of the coaching staff. We got blown out because guess what? Our coaching staff is bad. Our coaching staff does not teach players. They do not do things like a Brian Flores of the world. They don't do things like the Kyle Shanahans of the world, the Sean McVays of the world. Our coaching staff essentially is just like, you're going to run this play and you do it. And that's it. That's all they do. I think Sean Desai is an overrated DC. I didn't see anything that convinced me, oh, he's definitely better than Chuck Pagano, because it was honestly, just exactly a Chuck Pagano-like defense. Has his defense hanging there every now and then freaking it just gets destroyed, gets carved up. And it's going to be a very, very long season if the Chicago Bears cannot get stops. Very long season. And, there was Alec Ogletree had like a personal foul penalty. And I saw that and I'm like, that's a reflection on the coaching, because guess what? This coaching staff does not punish players. They do not hold players accountable. They do not have them disciplined. They do not have them prepared to play the game of football. They don't do anything to have these guys ready to come out, play, and actually execute. It's just go do this, and then we're going to go out there and we're going to win. Well, you're already 0-1. You're already 0-1. And it's not going good. And it didn't look good at all in this game. Tonight's game led me to believe that this team isn't going far. And 3-14, my prediction of how our record's going to be at the end of the season is going to be vastly coming true. 3-14. I said in my season preview that I could definitely see us losing to the Bengals. And now after seeing what the Bengals did in week 1 and what the Bears did here in week 1, it leads me to believe, if our defense is going to get carved up by Matthew Stafford, by sure as hell is going to get carved up by Joe Burrow in that offense with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, right? it only makes sense. It only makes sense that's going to happen. They took the Vikings, even though I think the Vikings are overrated as hell, to overtime, and they beat them in overtime. I think the Cincinnati Bengals can more than likely walk into Soldier Field on Sunday afternoon and upset the Bears in their building. And I can't wait to see next week's game, because guess what? I guarantee you, fans are going to be booing the moment Andy Dalton trots his sorry ass on the field. And they're going to be like, and they're going to be chanting, "We want Fields, we want Fields," which they were chanting in SoFi. I saw a video where there were Bear fans in SoFi Stadium chanting, "We want Fields." And funny enough, thank God I did not go and blow freaking money to go watch this anemic trash-ass team. Like, the lowest tickets last time I checked were like going for $80. I'm like, there's no way I'm driving to SoFi Stadium to watch us get blown out. Especially watch freaking Andy Dalton, even though we got some Justin Fields sprinkled in there. I would have been screaming at the top of my lungs and stuff like that. But listen, that was the whole thing there. But going on, we got the Bengals next week. We're probably going to lose that game. And honestly, I got us losing that game. After seeing this performance, we're losing week 2. And we're going to go 0-2. Then we got the Cleveland Browns. Even though the Cleveland Browns choked away the game today against the Kansas City Chiefs when they had it in the bag, I think going to Cleveland is going to be pretty tough. And Cleveland looks damn good. And they got some nice running backs. And I don't think we can stop the fucking run. Our defense is going to get gashed with the run, and guess what? Freaking Baker Mayfield's going to look like a Heisman Trophy candidate player again and carve us up in the passing game. Holy crap, man. We're going to start the season 0-3. Now, the Lions game, who knows what the fuck could happen in the Lions game, but honestly, the way the Lions came out, we might beat them. We might lose to the Lions. I don't trust this team. This team sucks. I'm done with the Chicago Bears. The Bears are an absolute joke of a team. They are a joke. And I'm sick and tired of this crap. If they really want to come out and be like this, well, then they might as well just cancel their season. Also, I'm also ticking down the time clock when we're finally going to see Justin Fields finally properly start and throw the ball down the field. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later. But with the way the Bears are managing this, they're going to probably sit his ass for the entire season thinking it's freaking Patrick Mahomes. My God. Yeah, listen, that's all I could talk about this game. Honestly, that's all I could talk about this game. I don't really have enough people in the chat to where they can give questions and stuff like that. But yeah, listen, I know this live stream was a little later than usual. Typically I want to have my live streams like right after the game, because I know that's when the most Bear fans are waiting to hear thoughts from other people in the Bears community, from their thoughts. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do this whole live stream thing for the rest of the season and everything, because I think I like this whole thing. Because if there are Bear fans checking out my videos live, well, guess what? Hey, we get to interact and talk about Chicago Bears football together. But that's kind of all I gotta say about tonight's game. The last thing I gotta say is this. Can the NFL stop putting the Bears in primetime games? Because I know why they do it. They do it because they want to have the NFL world react to the Bears' ineptitude and stupidity. So here's my 2 cents. Hopefully, the Bears play better, which I don't think they are. And hopefully Justin Fields starts sooner rather than later. And hopefully Matt Nagy is fired sooner rather than later, because I'm sick of his BS. Good heavens. Anyways, I'm tired. I'm gonna get out of here. Listen, hopefully you guys enjoyed the live stream, or the video after the live stream goes up to my YouTube channel, and stuff like that. I will be back after the Cincinnati Bengals versus Chicago Bears game live on my YouTube channel, discussing that game and how we are probably going to come out of that game at a loss. Listen, you can call me a fair weather fan. You can call me a negative Nancy of a Bears fan. I don't care. I've already mailed in this season because guess what? Justin Fields isn't starting. I said this and I'll say it again. Justin Fields starts for the Bears. The least the Bears are going is 9-8 potentially. If Andy Dalton starts the entire season, guess what? We're going 3-14. And like I said, Andy Dalton was just making dink and dunk passes. It's not like he was throwing the ball around the field. He wasn't freaking throwing the ball 50 plus yards like Matthew Stafford was. Oh, wait, Matt Nagy's offensive scheme doesn't have it to where we can throw the ball past the damn sticks. We can't even throw the ball past a first down marker. I'm done with this. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get up here. If you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on the Bears' Week 1 loss to the Rams. Is it the start to a horrible season? Or a start to, or well, I wouldn't say a horrible season. A start to a very long season where we're going to be subjected to this crap that I have to throw up and watch on my screen. And then 2, hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Chicago Bears content, as well as yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah, hit that subscribe button to get more Chicago Bears content. Again, I won't be doing. I almost forgot. I almost forgot to talk about this. Yes. So Jason Peters goes down with a hip injury or a quad injury. Hopefully, he's good to go next week. And then Larry Borom, he got an ankle injury. Larry Borom, I'll say this though. Larry Borom, when he came in for Jason Peters, he did look really good. He did look good. I was very impressed with how good Larry Borom did. Also, I will say Jason Peters in his time of playing, I thought Jason Peters played a pretty good game. He made a really good block on a Rams player before he looked like he was on the way to hit Andy Dalton, and freaking Jason Peters, 39 years old, lays out and block and pushes this guy out of the way so Andy Dalton can complete a throw. And I was like, okay. I will say this. A few times I will say this. The offensive line, it only really gave up I believe 1 or 2 sacks. Honestly, I thought the offensive line had a pretty solid performance. I didn't think the offensive line was that bad. I honestly thought the offensive line was actually, it wasn't good, but I thought it was solid. I thought it was nice. They gave some nice running holes for Montgomery, and I thought they gave adequate time for Andy Dalton to throw the ball. And I thought, Larry Borom looked good. So, hey, maybe he should be on that offensive line starting. Jason Peters looked nice as well. So, yeah, but I'm going to get out of here, guys. It's late. I'm going to hit the hay because I got a long day ahead of me. I got to go vote, and I got to get ready to go coach my football team and stuff like that. So, yeah, but yeah, hit that subscribe button if you want to get more Chicago Bears game recaps. Again, I think going forward, unless barring any other reason, I think I'm going to have live game recaps from my Chicago Bears, since my live recaps literally go up to YouTube as is. But other than that, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your night. I know I am, because guess what? I don't have to listen or watch the Bears until next Sunday. Anyways, hopefully we can get closer. So anyways, till then, guys, this has been Camera 15. I'm signing out. Until then, guys, bear down. And let's watch this train wreck together. # start Justin Fields. See you guys later. Peace.